In the heart of a small village in Nigeria, beneath the shade of the great Udola tree, the children of Ikenna Primary School played, laughed, and dreamed. But hunger can make even the sweetest things dangerous. And on that day, as the morning sun rose, she arrived. The arrival and first initiations. The school is buzzing. Day students in slightly worn uniforms run around, their sandals scraping the dusty ground. Laughter, chatter, and the smell of akara and puff-puff mix in the air. And on that day, as the morning sun rose, she arrived. The camera slowly zooms toward a lone figure standing at the gate, a new girl named Ebele. Slim, quiet with tightly braided hair, wide empty eyes, and a small woven basket resting gently in her hands. No one knew what she carried. No one saw the danger beneath her gentle smile. Soft, distant humming, almost a song but unclear. She steps forward and enters the compound. Madam Ngozi, firm and watchful, stands at the blackboard as the students chatter. She clears her throat, silencing them. Class, we have a new student joining us today. Her name is Ebele. Madam Ngozi introduced Ebele to the class. Eyes turned. Whispers spread like dust on the wind. See the new girl, see her basket. Ebele steps forward. She looks polite, shy, but there's something off. Ebele said softly. Good morning, everyone. The class murmurs greetings. In the corner, Chike and Nnamdi exchange glances. Chike whispers to Nnamdi. See as she quiet like mouse. Nnamdi chuckles. Break time. Children are gathered, opening their lunch bowls. Some kids linger around, looking longingly at others' food, the known beggars of the class. Under the Udola tree, Ebele sits quietly by herself, her small woven basket resting beside her. Chike and Nnamdi sit nearby. Nnamdi, teasing. Those beg people don't go chop today. As if on cue, two hungry-looking students, Ife and Kunle, the beggars of the class, approached Ebele. Ife, smiling awkwardly. You get extra food. Ebele smiles faintly, opens her basket. Inside are perfectly round, golden brown puff-puff, warm and perfect. Ebele said sweetly. You can take one if you're hungry. Ife and Kunle glance at each other, excited. They each grabbed a puff-puff and took a bite. They thanked her. They did not know the course had already begun. Nnamdi scoffs. Beggars. Chike watches Ebele carefully. She looks too pleased. The bell rings for class to resume. Ife and Kunle sit quietly at their desks. They don't speak. Their fingers tap faintly on the wooden table in rhythm. Tap. 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 Chike notices. Chike, whispering to Nnamdi. Why them they tap like that? At night, in Ife's home. Ife sleeps. The camera slowly creeps toward him. His eyes flick open, wide and terrified. A distant, eerie whisper floats in the air.
Puff, puff, sweet, puff, puff, round. Come and eat, don't make a sound.
Ife shivers. He turns to the window. Outside, a shadow stands in the street. It's small, child-sized, holding a woven basket. That night at Kunle's home, Kunle tosses in his sleep. Suddenly, he sits up, gasping.
It's again. Don't think twice.
His door is locked, but the voice is coming from inside his head. The next day in the classroom, Ife and Kunle sit silently at their desks. Their eyes are glassy, unfocused. Their fingers tap on the desks in rhythm. Chike watches nervously. Something is wrong. Ebele glances over at Chike and Nnamdi. She smiles faintly and opens her basket again. The spread of the curse. During break time, the schoolyard is noisy, but among the noise, Ebele sits quietly under the Udola tree. One by one, students approach her during break, always the ones who beg for food. She opens her basket. They smile. They eat. They thank her. Her smile never changes. Back in the classroom after break time. More students now sit eerily quiet. One by one, others followed.
Puff, puff, sweet, puff, puff, round.
The song hummed softly beneath their breath, tapping their fingers in the same rhythm. Tap, 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 tap. Chike and Nnamdi watched in growing fear. Chike glances around, noticing how many have stopped laughing, stopped talking. Nnamdi leans toward him. Nnamdi whispers, uneasy. Something may happen for this school. Madam Ngozi saw the change. The names of the quiet ones formed a pattern. It was early evening in Madam Ngozi's office. Madam Ngozi reviews her attendance book. She notices a pattern. The same students who have been unusually quiet recently. All of them are the ones who usually beg for food. A chill runs through her. Inside Ife's house that night, Ife's mother wakes to the sound of humming. She creeps to her son's room. Ife sits on the floor, eyes blank, softly humming.
Puff, puff, sweet, puff, puff, round.
The next day in the classroom, Chike and Nnamdi notice that Ife and Ikenna now move almost mechanically. They never speak unless spoken to. They stare into space during lessons. They still tap their fingers. During break, Chike watches in horror as Ife and Ikenna approach another hungry student and offer puff-puff from their lunch. At night, in Madam Ngozi's home, Madam Ngozi flips through an old folklore book she keeps hidden. Her eyes stop at an old story. Bewitched food. Sweet to the tongue but bitter to the soul. She whispers. It's happening again. In the schoolyard. More and more students now tap during lessons. The atmosphere in the school is heavy. Chike and Nnamdi have not eaten the puff-puff yet, but it's getting harder to resist. The song is starting to echo faintly in their heads. The next day in the classroom. Break time. Ebele approaches Chike and Nnamdi. Ebele, softly, smiling. You're always hungry after school. You should have one. She opens the basket. The puff-puff looks golden, warm, perfect. Nnamdi almost reaches out, but Chike pulls him away. Chike, fam. No. We no need. Ebele's smile flickers. Just for a second. In the quiet of Madam Ngozi's office that evening, she gathers the village elders and shows them the book. The bewitched food spreads not only by eating, but by invitation. The song will live in the ears of the initiated. She explains the pattern. They must perform a cleansing ritual before the song reaches every child. That night, the school compound was eerily silent. Under the cloak of night, the elders gathered. A small fire burns in the center of the schoolyard. Salt scattered in circles around the school grounds. The elders chant. The woven basket sits by the fire. But even as they chanted, the bewitched children, including Ife and Ikenna, gather slowly, their faces blank, their eyes empty. They all march towards the flame. Ebele stands at the edge of the crowd, smiling faintly. That night, in Chike's house, Chike tries to sleep. The song is loud now. He presses his hands over his ears. It won't stop. Outside his window, he sees the children walking toward the school in the dark. The ritual begins. The elders throw the basket into the flames. The children screamed as if their souls were burning too and collapse as the puff-puff burns. Ebele's smile fades. She whispers, "You will still hear the song." And then, she vanishes. The next day in the classroom, the children return to school, back to normal. Laughter returned to the yard. They remember nothing. But Chike still hears it, faintly. A soft whisper in the back of his mind.
Puff sweet, puff puff round. Come and eat, don't make a sound.
The course of Ikenna Primary School faded with the morning sun. but some songs, once heard, but never forgotten.
Puff puff sweet, puff puff round, come and eat, don't make a sound.